Hello everyone, Vincent Teo from HDTV Test here. I'm a TV reviewer and professional calibrator. Today I want to talk very quickly about the latest firmware update from LG Electronics that fixes the HDR Luminance issue on their 2018 OLED TVs with the Alpha 9 chipset, and also specifically on UK model adds HLG HDR playback on the BBC iPlayer app for the Dynasties series narrated by David Attenborough. So let me just give you some background. I think in my review of the LG E8 around 6 weeks ago, I pointed out a HDR Luminance issue that affects HDR content, be it in HDR10 or Dolby Vision. Basically what happens is that if there is a scene change from a high APL meaning average picture level, from a high APL scene to a low APL scene or vice versa, then you can see a lag in the brightness catching up with the scene change, causing this really quite noticeable delayed dimming or delayed brightening effect with certain HDR content. Now, LG has promised me that they will look into this issue and release a permanent solution, and indeed this permanent solution has arrived in the form of this latest firmware update. So in the USA and probably in other regions of the world, the specific firmware version is 04.10.15. This fixes the HDR Luminance issue. I checked a few scenes that was problematic before, namely this sequence from The Punisher Season 1 Episode 6 on Netflix, and then also from Season 1 Episode 1 of Altered Carbon again on Netflix, and then this scene from Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children on 4K Blu-ray fed through an Oppo 203 to the HDMI port on the television. And you can see that with all these scene changes, the luminance is completely stable. There is no longer the delayed brightening or delayed dimming effect that was seen on the previous firmware of 04.10.05 or 0.06, or even way earlier than before. So as far as I'm concerned, firmware 04.10.15 has completely eradicated this issue, and I'll talk about the specific UK version later on in this video, but I want to again thank LG for listening to feedback and for fixing this issue so quickly. And this must be a record time from the issue being reported to a fix coming out before Christmas. So well done again to LG engineers, because they are constantly listening to feedback, constantly trying to provide a better customer experience. Another thing that I need to mention before I forget about this firmware update is that from my testing, there are no other picture parameters that has been changed. If your 2018 LG OLED with Alpha 9 chipset, for example, the C8, the E8, the G8 or the W8, if they have been calibrated, you don't need to worry about the calibration being thrown off by this firmware update, because I ran some before and after scans and they are essentially identical. And also, if LG wanted to make any other changes to the picture parameters, there will be more time needed to troubleshoot, to beta test. So for them to actually release this firmware in such a quick fashion, I will take their word that they haven't actually changed or adjusted any other aspects of picture quality. Now let's go to the UK version then. In the UK, there is a slightly different firmware version. It is 04.10.20. This firmware also fixes the HDR Luminance instability. But in addition to that, what it does is to add HLG or hybrid log gamma HDR playback for the Dynasties series on the BBC iPlayer app. I think when Dynasties first aired back in November, owners of LG's 2018 OLED TVs, including the B8, the C8, the E8, the G8 and the W8, they have noticed that the documentary can be played in 4K UHD or ultra high definition, but it is not triggering HLG or hybrid log gamma playback on their televisions. Whereas owners of 2017 sets such as the B7 and C7 can actually enjoy it in HLG HDR. So this was quickly flagged up to LG, who recognized that there has been a mistake. So they have worked again very quickly to rectify this, and with firmware 04.10.20 in the UK, you can now watch David Attenborough's Dynasties series on the internal BBC iPlayer app in glorious high dynamic range. As you can see from the notification on the top right corner, this is indeed in HLG or hybrid low gamma, and of course it will look fantastic with the stunning blacks of OLED with the vibrant colors and also the high dynamic range that allows every single element to sparkle like never before. I'm not going to go into the picture quality side of things because I've done previous HLG comparisons against just standard dynamic range on BBC's previous, let's say, Blue Planet 2 and things like that. I didn't think that it gained that many views or traction because this is only limited to the UK. So I'm not going to go into the picture quality side of things, but rest assured that the image is stunning. So thanks again to LG for listening to feedback and also acting so quickly in record time to fix these issues on their 2018 OLED TVs. The company has recently been voted as the best TV brand overall and also the most reliable TV brand in a survey of 9,000 readers of this consumer magazine called which is the UK equivalent of Consumer Reports in the States. And on the evidence of this firmware update fixing all these issues, the reputation is very much well deserved. Now I want to tell you that this firmware update will be rolled out gradually in a staggered manner, so if you don't see it on your 2018 OLED TV for now, just be patient and wait a while. It will arrive on your set sooner rather than later to fix these issues. And before I end this video, I want to talk a bit about the above black macro blocking issue that some of you have tweeted me or messaged me on Instagram. Now I have checked out the Revenant campfire scene that has been suggested by some of you on an LG E8 in a side-by-side comparison with a 75-inch Sony ZF-9, which has some of the best above black handling among modern televisions. And I don't really see any problem that is out of the ordinary for an OLED television. But if you have any other examples, especially from 4K Blu-rays or from Netflix, so that I can replicate them and investigate, just leave them in the YouTube comment section below. If you found this video useful, please click the like button and subscribe to the HDTV Test YouTube channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.